What is going on, everyone? So really quick before we get into today's video, I did want to let you guys know that the video you're about to watch I filmed before fully putting the car back together. Basically, I'm walking you guys through the process of wiring up an electric cooling fan to your E36. And when I finished that video, the car was not fully put back together. Obviously, I had to put all of the parts back into the car and, you know, bleed the system and everything. But that being said, I ran into some issues which caused the fan to not really operate the way I planned on it. So if you're watching this video and you plan on wiring up your electric cooling fan the same way, definitely stick around to the end. I strongly advise waiting till the end of the video to watch that clip so I could break it down for you so you don't have the same issue that I ended up running into. So I just want to let you guys know before the video started. Now let's get into the actual video. Here we go. What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. So if you've seen any of my last couple of videos, you know that I'm in the middle of a cooling system overhaul on my BMW E36. And part of doing that is installing this SPAL electric cooling fan. And I thought it'd be a cool idea to make this video going over how to install this in your BMW E36 in a way that should retain the factory function as best as possible. And what I mean by that is this fan, the way I'm gonna wire it up, should kick on the same way the auxiliary fan would, the one that sits in front of your AC condenser. This should kick on when the coolant temp reaches a certain temperature. Not only that, but the way I'm going to be wiring this up, it is going to be as close to OEM as you can get. Pretty much you won't have to add a whole bunch of wires. We're going to basically be splicing into some of the wires that are already in the car. So I think that's the best and most simple and OEM route you can go when installing one of these. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into installing this in the car. Alright, so like I just mentioned, I am in the middle of a cooling system overhaul on this car. And so because of that, I already have my radiator, my fan shroud, and my clutch fan out of the way. If you're going to be installing an electric fan on your car, it's probably a good idea to kind of get these things out of the way as well. I don't know if you have to get the radiator out, but definitely the fan shroud and the fan, because you're going to be trying to line it up on the radiator and it might be kind of a hard time without the radiator out of the car. But yeah, I already have this out, so let me show you how we're going to wire this up, and then we'll kind of get it mounted on my new radiator and then put in the car. So the way we're going to be wiring this up today is we're going to be taking the plug for your auxiliary fan, the one that sits in front of your AC condenser over there. We're going to be taking that plug out and then splicing into it. And not only that, but because this isn't going to be functioning anymore, because it's not going to be plugged in, obviously, I opted to remove it from my car because it's not only dead weight, but it's just going to create drag and block the airflow through the radiator. So to take this out, I did take my front bumper off, as you can see, and then there are just 4 13mm bolts, 2 on each side, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this thing will just slide out the bottom once the bumper's out of the way. But yeah, so we're going to be using this plug here. Now let me get up into the car and show you how we're going to splice it to the fan. Alright, so this is the auxiliary fan connector. It normally routes through kind of this opening right here in front of your wheel well, but I pulled it up and out because we're going to be splicing into it. Now there's 3 wires. On the left is a blue wire, in the middle is a brown ground wire, and on the right is a black and blue wire. The blue and black and blue wires are the ones responsible for changing the fan speed. The auxiliary fan operates in 2 speeds depending on like coolant temp. But what we're going to be doing is essentially cutting all 3 of these wires, splicing the blue and the black and blue wires together, and then splicing the ground and those 2 wires to the wiring harness on the electric fan. So let's go ahead and cut these and prepare the wiring harness for the electric fan. So when you buy one of these SPAL electric fans, it'll come with this little like pigtail harness attached to it. It's only 2 wires. Now my particular fan did not come with this little sub harness. This end plugs into here, and then you have these 2 wires here. You could probably get away with just wiring this up to the car, but I don't know if it'll reach. I picked this up on Amazon. I want to say it was like 10 or 15 bucks, and you know, it'll probably give me the amount of wire I need to be able to fish this wherever I need to fish it and not worry about wires being too tight. But yeah, so what we're going to do essentially, like I was saying, is we're going to take the blue wire and the black and blue wire, we're going to kind of crimp them together, and then we'll take those two wires that are now crimped together and put them to the red wire. We'll cut the end off of this and cut the ends off of these, splice them together, and then the brown ground wire from the car will splice to the black wire on the wiring harness for the electric fan. So I'm going to get all this done, and then we'll test it out, make sure it comes on. I'll show you guys how to do that, and then we'll get it mounted onto the radiator. Alright, so I now have the fan wired up. I have the little sub harness that plugs into the fan harness spliced to the factory wiring harness, the plug, or the wires rather, that go to the connector to the auxiliary fan. So everything is wired up. And so what we're going to do now is test this to make sure it works. The way you do that is turn your ignition to accessory. You don't have to turn the car all the way on. And then essentially what you're going to do is at the connector here to the coolant temp sensor, the one that is screwed to the side of your radiator, unplug it if it's not already unplugged. And essentially what you're going to do is make a little jumper wire and go from the middle pin, which is the brown wire, the ground wire, and then take the other side of the splice into any of the other two holes, or pins rather. And what that's going to mimic is essentially the coolant temp getting to a certain degree and then telling the auxiliary fan to kick on. So we're just kind of bypassing that right now. And if it comes on, then we know that this is going to work when it's all hooked up and in the car. So let's see here. Hopefully you can hear that. So this thing works. That's pretty awesome. It should come on now whenever the coolant temp sensor trips the auxiliary fan, or what would have been the auxiliary fan. But now we got to mock this up and attach it to the radiator. Let me show you guys how we're going to do that. Alright, so the best way I think to mock this up on the radiator, because as you can see this thing can kind of sit anywhere, is to essentially, if you have your radiator out, I really do think that's the best way to do it. If you have your radiator out, clip your fan shroud to it, or put your fan shroud on the radiator the way it would if it's sitting in the car. So the radiator I have is the CSF high performance radiator, and it has all the provisions for the clips and stuff. And so I basically have the shroud sitting in here the way it would if it was in the car. And then I set the electric fan in here kind of as centered as I can make it. I'll mark it with a Sharpie, and then I'll take the shroud off and then attach the fan to the radiator with the little clips or zip ties or whatever it is. But as you can see, the little harness will fit perfectly out here. There is a coolant hose that's going to come in here and run along the bottom up to the bottom of the coolant reservoir, so just be mindful of that. But you should have plenty of room for this little harness to fit through there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the fan shroud back off after I make my Sharpie marks and then get this clipped to the radiator. Alright, so I have the fan attached to the radiator now. It is pretty much permanently in there. It's held in by 4 sort of zip ties. But yeah, now this can go back in the car. Installing this back in the car will be part of another video. I don't know if I mentioned it in this video or not, but I'm kind of in the middle of filming a few different videos. I am currently doing a full cooling system overhaul on the E36 M3. That's why I'm doing the electric cooling fan. But if you want to see that video, I'll link the part 1 and part 2 if it's done before this video down in the description below. You could see me remove all the old cooling parts that I am going to replace, or have replaced, and then you could watch me install this radiator and electric cooling fan. I'm not going to do it in this video. I just wanted to walk you guys through how to install or even wire up an electric cooling fan to your BMW E36 in the most factory way I think you can do it. And hopefully this guide and walkthrough helps you keep your E36 cooler than it's ever been. But yeah, I appreciate you guys checking it out. As usual, definitely consider commenting, liking, subscribing, turning on post notifications. I have a whole bunch of videos in the works, and I am trying to get this E36 out to the track for the first time, and you don't want to miss it. So all right, there we have it. That is the best and most OEM way I think you could wire up an electric cooling fan to your E36. I think it just is the cleanest way to do it without needing a whole bunch of wires in your engine bay. But nonetheless, I did want to make this clip, like I said in the beginning of the video, because I did run into some issues when everything was said and done, and I actually had everything installed in my car, and I was trying to make sure that it worked. So basically what was happening is once I had everything in the car and the cooling system was bled to the best of my ability, my cooling fan was not turning on. And if you're unfamiliar, what controls that fan, if you wire it up like this to your auxiliary fan wiring, what controls kicking that on and off is the coolant temp switch, which is on the side of your radiator. Now, not to be confused with your coolant temp sensor, which is screwed into your cylinder head, and that's the one that's responsible for actually displaying the coolant temp on your combo meter. The coolant temp switch is exclusively for the auxiliary fan, and so mine was not kicking on. In fact, when I got everything installed, I was watching the temps, and my car got to about 220 degrees before I had to turn it off because my fan was not kicking on, and that is not normal. The lower coolant temp switch that I installed in my car is supposed to kick the fan on at about 187 to 189 degrees Fahrenheit, and clearly that was not the case. And so I spent the evening kind of searching through some forums and trying to ask people on Facebook groups what they thought could be the problem, and I kind of just said I'd get to it the next day. And you know, the next day came around and I came out and I topped off the cooling system, because after the car was able to sit overnight and cool down, and I'm sure some air worked its way back up to the top of the, you know, cooling system, the top of the radiator and the expansion tank, I topped it off. I kind of went into like diagnosing what could be the problem. I plugged in my old coolant temp switch to see if the fan even kicked on. I had it basically plugged into the harness, and I took a heat gun and heat up the coolant temp switch until the fan kicked on, and it did. So I know the fan worked, I know the wiring worked, and I know that at least that switch worked. So I plugged it back into the switch on the side of my radiator. I then heated up the side of my radiator with the heat gun because I installed an aluminum radiator. So I was able to get that side of the radiator hot where the coolant temp switch screws into the radiator. And again, my fan kicked on, and so I knew everything was working. And so I turned the car on, let it warm up, and sure enough, after all of that, the fan was cycling on and off around 187 to 189 degrees. And so what I suspect was the problem, and why I'm making this clip to hopefully educate you guys so you don't have the same issue I had, is I don't think my system was properly bled. What I think was happening was I think I had a pocket of air stuck in the radiator around where that coolant temp switch was, and it wasn't reading temps properly, even though on my combo meter on the temp gauge it looked like I was fully warmed up, which I was. But because there was air in the radiator right there, that switch, you know, was not reading the right temperature and couldn't kick the fan on. And so after it sat all night, and after I believe it, you know, kind of bled itself overnight because I had to put a little more coolant in it the next day, then it was cycling on and off. And so I think that was what was going on. I didn't read any of that in the forums, and I didn't get any of those responses on Facebook. So that's why I wanted to make this clip, because there wasn't a lot of information about that, but it's definitely worth noting when you even do, you know, just a regular cooling system stuff. Even if you aren't installing an auxiliary or an electric cooling fan to your E36, just be mindful that if your fan doesn't kick on, your auxiliary fan, your stock one, it could be for that reason as well. Hopefully that saves some of you guys a headache. Hopefully it saves you from having to do a ton of research like I did. But nonetheless, again, I do think this is the best way you could wire it up to your car. And since then, since it kicks on and off now, temps haven't creeped into the 200s even once. I've taken the car out, I've kind of driven it hard on the freeway and stuff, which, you know, isn't the same as back canyons or whatever, but it stays significantly cooler now than it did when I originally put everything back in the car. So like I said, hopefully I could save you guys a headache. I know I already kind of did an outro in the earlier clip or the previous clip, but if you made it this far, as usual, I appreciate you checking it out. Thank you for watching, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Peace.